Oh, hi there. It's your boy Nathan. This is a quick disclaimer to say that if you're watching this video, it's probably gardening or DIY tips. I'm not trained in any way in DIY or gardening. I have no qualifications. Everything that I know has been learned through trial and error, mistakes, and breaking things, lots of things. So please take everything you see here as just my take on how to do things, not the recognized or industry standard way of doing things. So if you do attempt anything that I do here at home, you do it at your own risk, and I take no responsibility for your myriad of mess ups. Thanks. Bye now. Hey everyday DIYers, look what I found. A nice lovely natural spring has, well, sprung up in the garden. I reckon this is where the majority of the water that's been tracking next to the house has been coming from, and the majority of the water that's bogging down the land further down over yonder. So I've accidentally uncovered this whilst getting rid of what was a natural mound of earth for some extra soil in order to level off where the shed was going. And then we had some heavy rain, and voila! So as you can see, this is quite a high volume of water, and to start off with, we're just going to dig a standard drainage trench just to at least move it away from the property and down to the river, which is on the periphery behind me, down there. Eventually what we're going to do is deepen that trench, put some perforated drainage pipe in, some pea gravel, similarly to what we're doing around the sides of the shed, just to keep that water away. I'm not going to cap it because it's not a continuous flow of water. This only tends to happen when it rains. It did spring up further towards the property, I noticed last time, but this seems to be the main source. It seems to removing that hill has caused it to spring out of the ground here, so that's really good. It means we've got as close to the source as we can, and I think trenching this will definitely mean that we're not going to get that large volume of water moving towards the house every time it rains. So to start off with, got a big old pile of string there. I'm going to stake that into the ground and run a nice straight line up towards where that pylon is, so that we've got a nice straight trench. And then I'll just start digging. It's quite a lot of water, but comparatively the trench itself isn't going to need to be that deep to start off with. This is only going to be a temporary measure. It's not going to be the permanent fix. This is just to keep this water from tracking down where you can see it's flowing. And there we go. As simple as two pointy sticks in the ground. That's the spring over there. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just gives me a nice straight line to work with. And I only really need to go as far as here, because as you can see, it naturally tapers off, starts going downhill, and down here we can see that's the main stream. So once we get this far, it'll just join into the main stream. Happy days. Luckily for me, this is all naturally downhill anyway to that point, so it's a nice gentle slope. So to be honest, I shouldn't really need to dig too far down. It's not that much water that we're trying to move, so that works in my favour. It's nothing too technical. I'm just digging up and turning the soil over to create a banking as I'm going. It's getting this nice stepped effect, and as I'm moving along, obviously the direction of the stream's changing. And on a positive note, the area that it was flowing down is now starting to dry up, as it's now redirecting it. So it'll take me about an hour, but I'll make it all the way there in the end. I'm about halfway done. Literally just scoring out one edge and then lifting it over to create that banking on the other side to stop the water from going the other downhill, which is sadly towards the house. So a little bit of background about the property. It was derelict for about 15 years before we've purchased it and started renovating the garden and the house and whatnot. As far as challenges are concerned so far, it's finding the concrete path that was underneath the lawn that I didn't know was there. So that's fun, and a lot of tree roots. Digging in a straight-ish line means that you have no idea what's going to be underneath that soil as you're moving along. So fun times. And there you have it. And the spring up there, all the way down to here. Luckily I seem to have uncovered some sort of rat hole or some sort of burrow. The water's going straight into there and probably making its way down to the river as we speak. It does kill me a little bit on the inside that I've had to dig up my lawn, but at the very least I'm not getting a lot of water in or around the house. What I'll do now is I'll get hold of some perforated drainage pipe, some geo membrane and some pea gravel. I'll dig this a little deeper, chuck in some proper drainage and cover it back over. So, temporary fix for now, but does the job. Hello again everyday DIYers, and thank you for watching this short little tutorial. Feel free to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and share it with your friends if you think that they could use a little hand with a similar situation. So as I thought, the project took me about roughly an hour. As far as challenges altogether were concerned, finding that concrete path didn't help with digging the trench and turning things over. I didn't find anything else too difficult to deal with, just a few tree roots, but a few hacks with the spade managed to deal with those. As a bit of an update, the trench is still there. What we're finding now is where that path was, they've put a gravel base underneath it, and what's happening there now is the water starting to drain through that gravel base, and it is moving its way through the banking further down towards the house, which is not too much of a problem. It is moving towards another drainage channel that we have, so long term I'm still going to put down that perforated drainage pipe, that geomembrane and the pea gravel in that trench eventually and cover that over, so we wouldn't have that problem. Usually this isn't so much of a problem, but we've had unseasonably wet weather and that's really exacerbating the situation. So I'll give you another update further on. I'll do another video showing how I put that drainage system in, which is going to be very similar to what I'm doing with the shed. That is going to be a bit of a longer video to come once I've actually got the shed up. I might even break it into two parts, one in preparation for the shed and one when we're actually building it, so you can see step by step where I make mistakes and how not to do that yourselves. Well, bye!